Welcome back to DES Trucks. In today's video, we're going to be doing a road trip in our 23 F-450, and we're going to be putting some miles on it today. A couple hours drive, taking the kids out to a splash village here in Michigan. But we're going to be doing kind of a longer MPG test with the truck, kind of the viability of a truck this size being used as a daily driver. We actually just slid over this cup holder thing to make use of the larger cup holder, being able to hold more, because we're pretty much putting this to the max on a family road trip here. We've got more like water cups and stuff in here. And what's interesting is, even though this is a full-size crew cab pickup, it's kind of at its max, 4 people, 2 kids, 2 adults, and it's really full of stuff just for a short trip. So a truck this size, this cab for a family of 4, I think a tonneau cover would be needed in order to make it really work great, just because of the fact that you can quickly fill up one of these trucks. So we've got the Android Auto going right now. Somehow my wife's phone took over the connection, so I guess she's gonna be in charge of the radio. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's gonna be a lot of Morgan Wallen and stuff today, so I guess it is what it is. But nonetheless, we are gonna be driving the truck for quite a ways. What is the viability of having a truck this size? What kind of MPG can you expect? One of the good things about this truck is it's got a 48-gallon tank on it, which allows me to really relax on constantly worrying about getting fuel. We are just under a quarter tank. We got 414 miles of range. So let's go ahead and cycle through the menu, reset the trip fuel. Trip 1. Right now it says we're getting 12.9 miles to the gallon for the last 100 or 1,400 miles. So if that gives you any kind of idea what this truck's getting, just normally for me. Trip 2 says 12.4 miles for the last 4,000 miles. So that's kind of on par with the outgoing 20 F-450 that I had. Maybe this one's just a hair better based on this one. So we'll go ahead and reset this. We'll drive the truck out there. We'll see how it does. So thank you for joining us for the trip, and see you guys once we get on the road.
Okay. Done, baby?
All right, so getting ready to get down on the freeway right now. And one of the nice things about this is the Android Auto's right there on your screen. So we're going to be hooking a quick right and getting on the highway here.
Use the left lane to take the ramp to I-94 East, then merge onto I-94 East.
Wow, we got the 60 fast. Was that a rapid acceleration, Donna?
You think?
It didn't make you nervous.
I mean, Sean driving.
You trust me?
I have to.
So yeah, rapid acceleration up to 60. Nothing crazy, but tried to give the wife a little scare. Didn't work.
Wait, tell everybody about my new truck.
Oh, Donna, she wants to tell everyone that she's getting a new truck. She's getting another F-150, just like the one that she has, a Power Boost. It's going to be, a 23, I think.
Yeah.
And the only downside to that is the timing of her getting this new truck means that she won't be getting the new model, which would be
What
next year. But at the same time, we're not going to wait for that. So I guess it kind of is what it is, right?
Is that why my lease was a little less?
No, I think your lease is just less because you have low miles and whatever. So yeah, we're going 690. So we're getting 11.4 miles to the gallon just driving the way we are. And as you can see, that's pretty Well, that's just
to the
That's just
gallon?
because I just like stomped on it to get on the freeway, and then.
At my power boost, I get like 22 miles to the gallon.
All right, so she gets 22. Okay. So, anyway, I'm gonna keep driving. See you guys at the next scene. Okay, so we're like 20 minutes into the trip now. We're at 16.5 miles to the gallon. I did go ahead and put the truck into eco mode in order to actually make this a reasonable trip as far as MPG. So it got it up to 16.6, but we hit some traffic, as you can see here. We're almost out of it, but going in eco mode, I kind of noticed something that I kind of didn't expect. What it's basically been doing is keeping me in a much more reasonable gear for low speeds as we've been stuck in traffic. So we're in 10th, we're going 48 miles an hour. It's actually going through the trouble of keeping the gear a little bit lower or a little bit higher of a gear so that the RPMs just aren't crazy. One of the things that I've kind of complained about with this truck a little bit with the 430 gearing is first gear, unless you're towing, is useless. So just taking off, it's kind of like a semi. If you were in a 10 speed semi or 18 speed whatever semi without a load, just say you got a trailer behind you, no load, you wouldn't start in first. You'd start in like third. First gear is like a low gear and is only really used when you're towing weight. With this truck, first gear with a 430 gear ratio for the diff, first gear for daily driving is so useless. Like this thing, when being in traffic, I noticed it was in third gear for like 10 miles an hour, keeping RPMs lower. So unless you're towing, it almost would make more sense, or it definitely would make more sense for this truck to start in second or even third gear until you're actually towing something. So that's something I think would be cool if it could be modified, but nonetheless, I don't know how that would work. Maybe the eco mode, I need to play with it a little more. Maybe the eco mode kind of resolves some of that. And honestly, the truck would be faster without a load on it if it started in like third gear, because the diesel engine, it's a high torque, low rev engine. So starting in first gear with no load, it's kind of like having real strong legs and riding a bicycle without shifting gears. Like your legs are going to spin real fast, but the bicycle's not going to go nowhere. So that's kind of the downside of the first gear. But when you're towing, freaking power, good power. But anyway, we're going to continue this drive. I'm curious what this thing is going to get. We're being fair. We're driving at a good rate of speed, and hopefully this thing will get like 20 to the gallon, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue the trip. See you guys in the next scene. So we are at 16.7 miles to the gallon. We've kind of hit a ceiling here with our MPG. But one of the things I want to note with this F-450 is this truck tracks really well compared to the one that I had before, which was kind of all over the road, where especially on concrete roads, it would kind of bob back and forth in the lane, where it had that kind of, if you look at my wheel, how I'm kind of simulating how that would look, where it's always a correction, which meant that there would be a lot of fatigue after driving for a long time. Whereas this truck, right out of the gate from the factory, just tracks really straight. If you see the steering wheel being a little bit off center, that's because of the crown in the road. Most of you guys already know that, but there's always a person in the comment section saying, why is your steering wheel slightly off center? Because the freeway has a crown in it, so the wheel will slightly be off center based on where we are in the lane. Like if I were to be in the left lane, it'd be more exaggerated because there's more crown in the left or the right lane compared to the center. But on a relatively flat road, I've tested it just going in a straight line. I've literally just let go of the steering wheel and this truck will track so straight. Now, one of the things about this truck is it doesn't have any of the
Found a faster route, the I-75 north, which saves 10 minutes.
north 10 minutes. All right, we'll do that. Whatever it's telling me to do, I'll do. I think I need to, I don't know. But with this truck, it doesn't have any of the steering components. I think it's related to supply chain shortages where they actually started building these trucks without the electronic assist on the steering. Deleting the Pro trailer and all that is now not available, or not on this truck. It's available on the trucks, but not on this truck. Without the steering components, all the Pro trailer and all that, I will say that with the 20 that I had before, it got into an accident, ended up getting a new frame on it, and after it got the new frame and everything got realigned by Bill Brown Ford, that truck actually drove and tracked straight, just like this truck. So if you got a 450 and you're having a hard time with tracking, and it needs to get realigned, balanced, tires balanced, realigned, maybe some tires replaced in the steers, because when that truck, my 20, got into the accident, it got new steer tires, realigned, it had a new frame, and it just tracked really good, even with all the electronics on the steering component. So I don't think it's the electronics that are ruining the drive of the truck. I think it's just sometimes they don't come out of the factory with the best alignment. So anyway, we're going to continue to drive and see you guys at the next scene. So we got into a little bit of a downpour, and I shifted the truck into four-wheel drive actually. It's actually clearing up, so I'm probably going to come out here shortly, a four-wheel drive. But the reason I did that is because this thing can get squirrely just driving in two-wheel drive in the rain. The other day, actually it was yesterday, I was dropping off a coworker at home, and I was getting on the freeway. I was in two-wheel drive. It started raining. I wasn't even trying to accelerate the truck fast. I was just literally driving normal two-wheel drive. This thing got so squirrely, I had to correct and then recorrect. Like, even with traction control and everything, it just started to try to spin out on me. So 450 dually, hockey puck tires, just starting to rain, a little bit of grease on the road. Yeah, so anyway, it's clearing up actually, so it will be silly to stay in four-wheel drive now. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just shift out back to two-wheel, shift in progress. We're gonna continue to drive. We're at 17 miles to the gallon though, pretty good. And yeah, we actually got off the freeway for what, maybe 10 miles, and it creeped up to 17. So not terrible for a truck this size. Granted, you're in eco mode. Eco mode's not real bad though in this truck. It's not like totally mute the way it drives. It really is a lot of shifting, a lot more differences in shifting. But being geared to 430 gear with a diesel, honestly, it's kind of in the power in a better way, in my opinion. So anyway, we're going to continue to drive. Donna, how's the trip for you?
Pretty good.
All right, see you guys at the next scene. So we've been off of the freeway now for about 10 miles, and we reached 18 miles to the gallon for the last hour, 34 minutes, 89 miles. Pretty impressive for a truck this size to get that kind of mileage.
Turn left onto Mission 83 North, Jarrah Road.
Donna, how's the ride for you?
That's good.
Nate, what about you?
Good.
So yeah, everything went well. Sis, how was the ride for you?
Okay.
All right, so
Mommy.
anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and park this truck. We're about 7 minutes away. See you guys once we park.
That was good.
So we have arrived here at Splash Village. Everything went good, and it's basically just a water park full of inner tube slides and stuff like that. But the trip went well. We got about 18 miles to the gallon. All different types of driving: highway, getting off the highway, taking a little bit of back roads, driving through some rain, having a little bit of four-wheel drive action, which is controversial. A lot of people won't do that and will say that will absolutely blow up your truck. And so far, we've been lucky enough to not blow up our truck. But
Not right?
anyway, all right. So now just a final recap here of what the truck got.
Okay, here I go.
All right. Menu. 18 miles to the gallon. Pretty good for a truck this size. Hopefully that focuses for us. 18 to the gallon. Freaking drove the entire family in our work truck. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. That's going to be it for this one. See you guys in the next one. Maybe on our way back. Thank you for watching. Over and out.